Good morning, adventure travelers. We are here in Pula and we are on our way to the famous Colosseum. Anyway, just standing in front of a monument that celebrates the defeat of the fascists in 1945, but let's keep moving. So don't quote me on this, but as far as I'm aware, the Colosseum in Pula is more complete than the Roman Colosseum, but it's not as large. Might have said yesterday, I'm pretty sure it's still used for a concert. Elton John has played here in the past. Look at that, pretty impressive. Now, how do we get inside? Alrighty, and that was €10 to get in. I wonder what the Romans paid. Well, not the Romans, they were well, probably was the Romans actually, since they built the place. I wonder what they paid 2,000 years ago to get in here, to see the Christians being eaten by the lions. And the old panorama. Pretty epic for a 2,000-year-old structure. Construction began in 27 BC and was completed in 68 AD, but it went through a few different formats. It was first built in wood and then they rebuilt it in stone. They certainly built things to last back in the old days. So gladiatorial competitions went on until the 5th century and then they were banned, but it wasn't until the 7th century that other competitions such as fights to the death between inmates, prison inmates, and with wild animals, etc., they were banned in the 7th century. So where's that sun? There we go. So yes, it was used up until the 7th century. And now you can come here and see people like Elton John. So there we are, up in the stands, and there's the main area, and that's where the Christians would have been made dinner for the night. So back in the gladiator days it had a capacity of 23,000, but in modern times that's more like 5,000 to 7,000 depending on seating versus standing. Anyway, it's all, apart from music concerts, it's also used for ballet, opera, sporting competitions, and also a film festival. So, how cool. Alrighty, now we are on top of the high point in Pula, where the fortress is. As you can see, all those cannons are in behind me, and there's the entrance to the fortress there. So let's go check it out. Even had a little moat back in the day. Alrighty, here's the courtyard, and higher we go. And this is a pretty good lookout point. You can see over the whole bay. Just in case some pesky Ottomans or the likes turned up. Alrighty, I think this pathway takes us to overlook the city side. Yes, there you go. There's the city side. And there's the Colosseum over there. Bit of a closer look. And here's the moat that no doubt had water in it once upon a time. Pretty cool, eh? And there are some underground tunnels under the fortress. I can't actually figure out what they're for. Maybe they were escape tunnels, There's nothing in English, but pretty cool. And here we are back into the light, and I think it's about lunchtime now. Most towns in Croatia have a central square, and Pula is no different. Usually the square is centered around a church, but I can't see one. But in modern times, they have restaurants on the perimeters, and so does Pula. There you go, restaurants around the outside. Now, usually where the church would be, there seems to be some sort of main building. Maybe it was the council building, or maybe the mayor lived there, but the real star is next door. We have a Roman temple, the Temple of Augustus from 2 BC, just like the Colosseum or arena. It's a couple of thousand years old. As you can see, it's pretty popular with the tourists. Everyone's lining up to have their photo taken. And why wouldn't you? 2,000-year-old temple, you don't come across that every day. And lucky last for the day is the Arch of Sergei, a Roman arch built in 29 BC. It's the archway that leads to the square where we've just come from. So I hope you enjoyed that little look at Pula, and tomorrow we're back on the bike. Good morning, adventure travellers. All right, we are all packed up. The bike is loaded, the tent is gone, and we are on our way to Slovenia. It's about 9:15 in the morning in Pula, in the campsite, and boy, she's pretty warm already. So it's going to be pretty hot in that jacket, but anywho, let's get on the road. And we are in the Trustees on the way to Slovenia. We're going to stop on the Slovenian coast for lunch, and that's the last ocean I'm going to see for a few weeks or more. I might make it up to the top of Poland if I have time, otherwise it'll be in the Netherlands on the way to the UK. Hard to leave the Med, but it has to be done. Got to head inland and make my way to the interior of Europe. We're going to be moving through the countries quite fast from here on in, so stay tuned for some changes of scenery. Wonder if I will have to show my passport. Nope. And we are here, Slovenia. Oh, Slovenia. And we're heading down to the water. Very pleasant ride down to the beach, to the waterfront. Maybe there's a beach down here. Oh yes, look at this. Very nice indeed. That looks like a restaurant ahead. Let's take a cruise along the waterfront in whatever town we're in. Oh, look at that hotel. It's the Palace Hotel. It's a famous hotel around here, and it's quite a popular little spot. It's full of hotels, restaurants. Very nice indeed. And we are on the road to Ljubljana through the canopy of trees. Now we have hit a bit of a snag. I don't think that my booking at the hostel has gone through, so I might have nowhere to stay in the big smoke. It's a 2.5 hour ride, so I'm just going to try and haul it all the way and deal with it when I get there. So stay tuned to see if I have got somewhere to stay in Ljubljana or I've got to start from scratch. And here we are in Ljubljana, and there's a nice little church on the side of the road. Okay, well, not sure how big Ljubljana is, but the country's only 1.8 million people, so I dare say the city is not huge. It's around about 5 PM at the moment, and it seems very quiet in central Ljubljana. Maybe everyone's saving their strength for the first day of work tomorrow. Hostel's just at the end of this street. So let's see what we got. Alright, let's go and see what's going on. Alrighty, that first place was booked out, and here we are at Hostel Vrba. Let's see what they got. And yes, we have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the Hostel Vrba, 75 New Zealand dollars a night for a hostel. Anyway, somewhere to stay, and we've even got a parking space for the bike. How good is that? Tucked away behind the hedge. That'll do me for a few nights before we head to where we're going next. Don't worry about it, that'll do me for a few nights. If you're enjoying the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe. Give me some feedback in the comments below, and don't forget to share it with family and friends. Alrighty, so we're all unpacked, and it's only 4 bunks, as you can see, but it's very cozy. Anyway, it's quite a high standard, and there's a kitchen downstairs, so it's a big step up from the campsite in Pula, but it sort of should be for 75 Kiwi a night. Anyway, that'll do for the next 3 nights while we check out Ljubljana, and then we're off to Austria. Good morning, adventure travelers. We are here in Ljubljana, Slovenia, and behind me you can see some traditional buildings, and I'm standing on the banks of the Ljubljanica river. It's not a very big river, but it's nice and clean, and there's a few boats going up and down. There's a bridge over there. Let's go for a little look-see off the bridge, looking up the river. Very nice. So I'm going to be heading in that direction, walking into town, and I'm going to be doing a walking tour of the city. Let's go. As we head into town along the banks of the river, it's getting a little bit more built up with the restaurants and cafes. As you can see, the streets are cobbled, and it's a beautiful morning. On the other side of the river, very European style buildings and housing, and the same on this side as well. Plenty of riverboat cruises going up the Ljubljanica. Tourist season is definitely kicking off here. And here we are in Portorož Square, the main square in Ljubljana. I'll give you a bit of a panorama. You've got the bridges over there to the other side of the river, and statues. I think that's the main church there, and coming around. Yes, very nice indeed. Alrighty, we are off the river, and we're in a square that has a famous church and a cute little park next to it. Here's the church, Catholics doing their thing. Here's a lovely park, and this is the square. As you can see, they're all set up for a concert coming up. But the most interesting part is the building and its balcony next to the square. It used to be a council, a political building. It's now part of Ljubljana University. But that balcony up there was where Tito gave a speech in May of 1945. And he announced to the Slovenes and the Yugoslavs that the Germans had been defeated, and they were about to undertake a prosperous new era under a thing called communism. And now we are off up the hill to see Ljubljana Castle. And the interesting thing about this castle there was never a royal family or nobles that lived in it. The castle is essentially a fortress to keep an eye out for any enemies coming into the city. And here we are at the top of the hill at Ljubljana Castle. Look at that, it's hard to squeeze it all in. Let's go for a bit of a walkie around. Oh, there's a bit of a view over there. Here's the city down below, some of the old ruins. I think that was a rear entrance actually that we came up at. I think we are now at the main gate of the castle. Alright, €15 to get in. Let's see if it's worth it. There's a couple of impressive flags up there. The green and white one is a Slovenian flag. No, sorry, the green and white one is the Ljubljana flag, and the tricolour is the Slovenian flag. Not that amazing in the centre of it. It's just a bit of a square. You've got a restaurant there, cafe there, and here we are at the top of the castle. I'm not sure if this is the highest point in Ljubljana, but I'm sure it makes the semi-finals. Beautiful view of the city. So that was the inside of the Ljubljana castle. Was it worth €15? Probably not, maybe €5. But anyway, you win some, you lose some. However, we do have a very nice walk back down the hill in the green and in the sunshine. Beautiful greenery. Down the hill we go. It's like being back in New Zealand on this trail. So we're just on one of the bridges in the Ljubljana river with some sculptures on it and some young girls playing some nice classical music. Anyway, let's look at these sculptures. They're a little bit gruesome looking. Not quite sure what they're supposed to represent, but they don't look like happy campers. And that's Ljubljana in a nutshell. Beautiful little city. Probably don't need more than a weekend or a long weekend to see it if you're thinking about visiting. Well, there's a lot of worse places to be than down by the river in Ljubljana, Slovenia. If you'd like to know more about the ride from New Zealand to Ireland, you can go to twowheelstoeverywhere.com. The IHC is an organisation that looks after the intellectually disabled in New Zealand, and they looked after my uncle for pretty much his whole life. If you'd like to know more about them, go to ihc.org.nz. And here comes the pitch. Yes, I'm raising a bit of money on the side for the IHC, so if you're enjoying the videos and you'd like to chip in, please go to my Give a Little page. The link is on the screen and in the description below, and your donation goes directly to the IHC. That's it from me until the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember to travel safe and see you on the road.